That was the story of the lion. Macomber did not know how the lion had felt before he started his rush, nor during it when the unbelievable smash of the 505 with a muzzle velocity of 2 tons had hit him in the mouth, nor what kept him coming after that. When the second ripping crash had smashed his hindquarters and he had come crawling on towards the crashing, blasting thing that had destroyed him. Wilson knew something about it and only expressed it by saying, "Damn fine lion." But Macomber did not know how Wilson felt about things either. He did not know how his wife felt except that she was through with him. His wife had been through with him before, but it never lasted. He was very wealthy and would be much wealthier, and knew she would not leave him ever now. That was one of the few things that he really knew. He knew about motorcycles, that was earliest, about motor cars, about duck shooting, about fishing, trout, salmon, and Big C, about sex in books, many books, too many books, about all court games, about dogs, not much about horses, about hanging on to his money, about most of the other things his world dealt in, and about his wife not leaving him. His wife had been a great beauty, and she was still a great beauty in Africa, but she was not a great enough beauty anymore at home to be able to leave him and better herself, and she knew it, and he knew it. She had missed the chance to leave him, and he knew it. If he had been better with women, she would probably have started to worry about him getting another new, beautiful wife. But she knew too much about him to worry about him either. Also, he had always had a great tolerance, which seemed the nicest thing about him if it were not the most sinister.
Thank you so much, Rick. Thank you so much for reading.
No problem.
Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, are you some British now?
Yeah, sorry, I was just putting on an accent. We are on 19, right?
19, exactly.
Okay. All in all, they were known as a comparatively happy married couple, one of those whose disruption is often rumored but never occurs. And as the Society columnist put it, they were adding more than a spice of adventure to their much envied and ever-enduring romance by a safari in which was known as Darkest Africa until the Martin Johnsons lighted it on so many silver screens where they were pursuing old Simba the lion, the buffalo, Tembo the elephant, and as well as collecting specimens for the Museum of Natural History. The same columnists had reported them on The Verge at least 3 times in the past, and they had been. But they always made it up. They had a sound basis of union. Margot was too beautiful for Macomber to divorce her, and Macomber had too much money for Margot ever to leave him. It was now about 3 o'clock in the morning, and Francis Macomber, who had been asleep a little while after he had stopped thinking about the lion, wakened and then slept again. Woke suddenly, frightened in a dream of the bloody-headed lion standing over him and listening while his heart pounded. He realized that his wife was not in the other cot in the tent. He lay awake with the knowledge of 2 hours. At the end of that time, his wife came into the tent, lifted her mosquito bar, and crawled cozily into bed. "Where have you been?" Macomber asked in the darkness. "Hello," she said. "Are you awake?" "Where have you been?" "I just went out to get a breath of air." "You did, like hell." "What do you want me to say, darling?" "Where have you been?" "Out to get a breath of air." "That's a new name for it." "You're a bitch." "Well, you're a coward." "All right," he said. "What of it?" "Nothing as far as I'm concerned, but please let's not talk, darling, because I'm very, very sleepy." "You think that I'll take anything?" "I know you will, sweetie." "Well, I won't. Please, darling, let's not talk. I'm so very sleepy." "There wasn't going to be any of that. You promised there wouldn't be." "Well, there is now," she said sweetly. "You said if we made this trip that there would be none of that. You promised." "Yes, darling. That's the way I meant it to be. But the trip was spoiled yesterday. We don't have to talk about it, do we?" "You don't wait long when you have an advantage, do you?" "Please, let's not talk. I'm so sleepy, darling." Enfim. I have to go to class now, but it was great listening to all of you guys. And yeah, hope to see you next
Thank you
time.
so much for reading. Hopefully you're going to be able to join again.
Yeah, of course. Awesome. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for joining. Good. We have a guy here who wants to read.
Hey everybody, it's number 07, The Heat Death of Toast World.
Good.
Let's go. Okay. And to make sure,
20.
Wenny?
Yeah, 20. So I'm going to talk.
Okay, let's go. I'm going to talk. Don't mind me then, because I'm going to sleep. And she did. At breakfast, they were all three at the table before daylight, and Francis Macumber found that, of all the many men that he had hated, he hated Robert Wilson the most. Sleep well? Wilson asked in his throaty voice, filling a pipe. Did you? Popping, the white hunter told him. You bastard, thought Macumber. You insolent bastard! So she woke him when she came in, Wilson thought, looking at them both with his flat, cold eyes. Well, why doesn't he keep his wife where she belongs? What does he think I am? A bloody plaster saint? Let him keep her where she belongs. It's his own fault. Do you think we'll find buffalo? Margot asked, pushing away a dish of apricots. Chance of it, Wilson said and smiled at her. Why don't you stay in camp? Not for anything, she told him. Why not order her to stay in camp? Wilson said to Macumber. I don't. That's grammatically weird. You order for her, is probably what that means, said Macumber coldly. Let's not have any ordering, nor, turning to Macumber, any silliness, Francis, Margot said quite pleasantly. Are you ready to start? Macumber asked. Any time, Wilson told him. Do you want the Mensahib to go? Does it make any difference whether I do or not? The hell with it, thought Robert Wilson. The utter, complete hell with it. So this is what it's going to be like. Well, this is what it's going to be like then. Makes no difference, he said. You're sure you wouldn't like to stay in camp with her yourself and let me go out and hunt the buffalo? Macumber asked. Can't do that, said Wilson. Wouldn't talk rot if I were you. I'm not talking rot. I'm disgusted. Bad word, disgusted. Francis, will you please try to speak sensibly? His wife said. I speak too damn sensibly, Macumber said. Did you ever eat such filthy food? Something wrong with the food? Asked Wilson quietly. No more than with everything else. I'd pull yourself together, laddie buck, Wilson said very quietly. There's a boy waiting that understands a little English. The hell with him. Wilson stood up and, puffing on his pipe, strolled away, speaking a few words in Swahili to one of the gun bearers, who was standing waiting for him. Macumber and his wife sat at the table. He was staring at his coffee cup.
Thank you. Thank you so much for reading.
Yep. No problem. No prob, Bob.
I like your accent. Good. Okay.
Goodbye.
Let's see. I think we have another English native that has just joined. Drax. Oh, is Jess over? She's here. Yes, Jess, I missed you. Hi, Jess. Jess.
Hello. Okay. Hey.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Good. Have you just joined?
I did. I don't know where we're at.
Okay, so I sent it to the Storytime channel. It's a
I'm in
document.
the Google Doc, but I don't. Are we?
Oh, it's the blog 21. It's on page 32.
Okay.
Let me know if you can find it.
All right, 21. If you make a scene.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you're smart. Good.
Thanks. If you make a scene, I'll leave you, darling. Margaret said quietly. No, you won't. You can try it and see. You won't leave me. No, she said. I won't leave you, and you'll behave yourself. Behave myself? That's a way to talk. Behave myself. Yes, behave yourself. Why don't you try behaving? I've tried it so long. So very long. I hate that red-faced swine, Macumber said. I loathe the sight of him. He's really very nice. Oh, shut up! Macumber almost shouted. Just then the car came up and stopped in front of the dining tent, and the driver and the two gun bearers got out. Wilson walked over and looked at the husband and wife sitting there at the table. Going shooting? He asked. Yes, Macumber said, standing up. Yes. Better bring a woolly. It'll be cool in the car, Wilson said. I'll get my leather jacket, Margaret said. The boy has it, Wilson told her. He climbed into the front with the driver and Francis Macumber, and his wife sat, not speaking, in the back seat. Hope the silly beggar doesn't take a notion to blow the back of my head off, Wilson thought to himself. Women are a nuisance on safari. The car was grinding down to cross the river at a pebbly ford in the gray daylight and then climbed, angling up the steep bank, where Wilson had ordered away shoveled out the day before so they could reach the park-like wooded rolling country on the far side. It was a good morning, Wilson thought. There was a heavy dew as the wheels went through the grass and low bushes. He could smell the odor of the crushed fronds. It was an odor like verbena, and he liked his early morning smell of the dew. The crushed bracken and the look of the tree trunks showing black through the early morning mist as the car made its way through the untracked, park-like country. He had put the two in the back seat out of his mind now and was thinking about buffalo. The buffalo that he was after stayed in the daytime in a thick swamp where it was impossible to get a shot. But in the night, they fed out into an open stretch of the country, and he could have come between them and their car. Macumber would have had a good chance at them in the open. He did not want to hunt buff or anything else with Macumber at all, but he was a professional hunter, and he had hunted with some rare ones in his time. They got buff today, and there would only be rhino to come, and the poor man would have gone through his dangerous game, and things might pick up. He'd have nothing more to do with the woman, and Macumber would get over that too. He must have gone through plenty of that before, by the look of things. Poor beggar. He must have a way of getting over it. Well, it was a poor sod's own bloody fault. He, Robert Wilson, carried a double-sized cot on the safari to accommodate any windfalls he might receive. He had hunted for a certain clientele, the international, fast, sporting set, where the women did not feel that they were getting their money's worth unless they had shared the cot with the white hunter. He despised them when he was away from them, although he liked some of them well enough at the time. But he made his living by them, and their standards were his standards as long as they were hiring him.
Ooh, thank you so much. Just for reading.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me move you to the audience. We have already missed you. I thought you would not join. I was scared.
Oh yeah, it's busy today, so just was
Yeah.
able to spend for a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like today was not a good choice, to be honest.
It's just a little early.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
All right, y'all have a good day. See ya.
Today. Let's see. Who's this guy? Have I just invited him to the stage? Ethan? Are you there? If you're there, we cannot hear you. Ethan. Okay, his mic is not working. I have just invited you again. Hi. Are you
Hi.
gonna read?
Yes.
It's
One.
vlog 22.
Okay. Is that marked somewhere? Because could you copy and paste it maybe? Or is that
Yeah.
too much? Okay.
Not too much. I
Sorry
can do
guys, I'm a little nervous. My crush is here.
it. Where is it? I cannot see.
Yeah. You can't see what.
I'm trying to copy it. What else is there?
Yeah.
Let's
You
see.
said 22, but I see letters on there, so yeah, it's 22, aka L. I don't know.
Yeah, I can.
Really, really great.
I sent
Never learned
it.
those numbers. Okay.
I sent
That's
it.
good.
The 37 wheels.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Time to read. And yeah, I'm just like I said. Sorry if it's a little choppy. I'm just nervous around my crush. Okay. Okay. They were his standards in all except the shooting. He had his own standards about the killing, and they could live up to them or get someone else to hunt them. He knew, too, that they all respected him for this. This McCumber was an odd one, though. Damned if he wasn't. Now the wife. Well, the wife. Yes, the wife. The wife. Well, he's dropped all that. He looked around at them. Cumber sat grim and furious. Margaret smiled at him. She looked younger today. More innocent and fresher, and not so professionally beautiful. What's in her heart, God knows, Wilson thought. She hadn't talked much last night. At that, it was a pleasure to see her. The motor car climbed up a slight rise and went on through the trees, and then out into a grassy prairie-like opening and kept in the shelter of the trees along the edge, the driver going slowly, and Wilson looking carefully out across the prairie and all along its far side. He stopped the car and studied the opening with his field glasses. Then, he motioned to the driver to go on, and the car moved slowly along, the driver avoiding warthog holes and driving around the mud castles ants had built. Then, looking across the opening, Wilson suddenly turned and said, "By God, there they are." And looking where he pointed while the car jumped forward and Wilson spoke in rapid Swahili to the driver, McCumber saw three huge, black animals looking almost cylindrical in their long heaviness, like big black tank cars moving at a gallop across the far edge of the open prairie. They moved at a stiff-necked, stiff-bodied gallop, and he could see the upswept wide black horns on their heads as they galloped heads out. The heads not moving. "They're three old bulls," Wilson said. "We'll cut them off before they get to the swamp." The car was going a wild 45 miles an hour across the open, and as McCumber watched, the buffalo got bigger and bigger until he could see the gray, hairless, scabby look of one huge bull, and how his neck was a part of his shoulders, and the shiny black of his horns as he galloped a little behind the others that were strung out in the steady, plunging gait. And then, the car, swaying as though it had just jumped the road, they drew up close, and he could see the plunging hugeness of the bull, and the dust in his sparsely haired hide, the wide boss of horns, and his outstretched, wide-nostriled muzzle. And he was raising his rifle when Wilson shouted, "Not from the car, you fool!" And he had no fear, only hatred of Wilson while the brakes clamped and the car skidded, plowing sideways to an almost stop, and Wilson was out on one side and he on the other, stumbling as his feet hit the still speeding by of the earth. and then he was shooting at the bull as he moved away. Hearing the bullets flung into him, emptying his rifle at him as he moved steadily away, finally, remembering to get his shots forward into the shoulder. And as he fumbled to reload, he saw the bull was down. Down on his knees, his big head tossing, and seeing the other two still galloping, he shot at the leader and hit him. He shot again and missed, and he heard the carawanging roar as Wilson shot and saw the leading bull slide forward onto his nose. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for reading. Thank you for reading, Ethan.
Love you.
Is there anything you want to say?
Just wanted to say thanks, Ori, for hosting this event. And I just feel like now's the time, after I conquered my fear of reading in front of everyone, I'd like to maybe just admit that you're my crush. And I think I've liked you for quite some time now. So we can talk about that later, though.
No, I'm glad they're not. Oh, look at that. What are you doing? Are you hiding in the bathroom because you're working? Good. I'm gonna.
Yeah. So
Good. Good. Okay, thank you for reading. Appreciate it.
Oh, three people. Oh,
Hi, Tafu. It's your turn.
all right, cool. I'm gonna read some text.
It's,
On 24, right?
yeah, 24.
Cool. That other, Wilson said. Parachuting. The other bull was moving steadily at the same gallop, and he missed, throwing a spat of dirt. Wilson missed, and the dust rose in a cloud, and Wilson shouted, "Come on, he's too far!" Grabbed his arm. They were in the car again. Cumber and Wilson hanging on the sides and rocketing swayingly over the uneven ground, flying up on the steady, plunging, heavy-necked, straight-moving gallop of the bull. They were behind him, and Macumber was filling his rifle, dropping shells onto the ground, jamming it, clearing the jam. Then they were almost up with the bull when Wilson yelled, "Stop!" and the car skidded so that it almost swung over. Macumber fell forward as he aimed into the galloping, rounded black back, aimed and shot again, then again, and the bullets, all of them hitting, had no effect on the buffalo that he could see. Then Wilson shot. The roar deafened him, and he could see the bull stagger. Macumber shot again, aiming carefully, and down he came onto his knees. "All right," Wilson said. "Nice work. That's 3. Macumber felt a drunken elation. "How many times did you shoot?" he asked. "Just 3, Wilson said. "You killed the first bull, the biggest one. I helped you finish the other 2. Afraid they might have gotten to cover. You had them killed. I was just mopping up a little. You shot damn well." "Let's go to the car," said Macumber. "I want a drink." "Got to finish off that buff first," Wilson told him. The buffalo was on his knees, and he jerked his head furiously and bellowed in pig-eyed, roaring rage as they came towards him. "Watch, he doesn't get up," Wilson said. "Then, get a little broadside and take him in the neck just behind the ear." Macumber aimed carefully at the center of the huge, jerking, rage-driven neck and shot. At the shot, the head dropped forward. "That does it," said Wilson. "Got the spine. They're a hell of a fine-looking thing, aren't they?" "Let's get the drink," said Macumber. In his life, he had never felt so good.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tafu, as always. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. Guys, I think we better finish this for now because we have been already, let's see, let me check. Almost 3 hours reading. That's a lot. Thank you so much for joining as always. And I'm gonna post the video on the YouTube channel we have. If you haven't subscribed it yet, you should. I'm gonna send the link real quick. And so if you wanna watch the whole thing after, I'm gonna post it in the YouTube channel. Give me a second. So thank you so much for joining. It was awesome. Thank you so much to all the Spanish readers. It was really good. Thank you also to the English readers and to the audience. Thank you so much. And please don't forget to add to yourself other roles to yourself, like the events role and the storytime roles. Because if you really want to have fun, you must have those roles. So you must add them to yourself, please. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Fish lips. Yeah, we can tell you the story. But I'm recording it, so I'm not allowed to say it now. Oh wait, I'm allowed to if I finish the recording. But yeah, I'll say I'm gonna finish the recording. 1 second. But thank you so much, guys, for reading. And don't forget, if you wanna participate in our events, just to listen or to read or to do whatever, please add to yourself the roles. That would be amazing. And now give me a second. I'm gonna finish the recording because it's too long.